Do you want something different in your life? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Do you want something different? What are you doing? What are you doing to make your life different? If you want something different, you have to do something different. And this applies to all aspects of your life. If you want to attract better friendships, then you have to change how you're approaching it, right? If you want to find your person, then you have to put yourself in different situations or different environments than maybe you did before, or you have to change your relationship to how you see people in your life. And I've really been able to start to notice patterns. Sometimes people represent patterns in our life and we don't even see it. And that's why we keep attracting the same type of people into our lives, because there's a lesson there that we haven't learned, there's something that we haven't healed from. There's something that is trying to get our attention. And these people are coming in, and if you really think about it, it's wild. And if you really compare certain people that maybe bring out the same type of upset in you, or the same type of pain, or the same trigger, and if you kind of take the specific like details of that person out and just kind of compare these people, you'll see that it's a pattern. It's an energy pattern. It's very hard to describe, but I've been noticing this myself now for several months, that I can go back and actually, if you take away the face, right? The faces, because the faces are different, and the details maybe of their personality might be a little bit different, or how you met, or whatever it is for the people, right, that you're comparing. And it can be any relationship. It can be coworkers and friends and family. But if you take away those specific details that are like the superficial details, and you just look at either the energy that they give, or just what they bring out in you, right? How they make you feel, how your body reacts to them, and especially how your body reacts to them and what's coming up for you, because you realize there is a pattern. If you attract typically the types of people that make you feel small, for example, that make you feel like you're less than, you'll start to see a pattern within these people if you start to pay attention to who's bringing that trigger out in you. And that allows you to kind of step back and detach from those emotions a little bit. Okay, so to get back to doing something different, once you kind of start to realize that it has nothing to do with that specific person, right? The universe is sending you a signal that something isn't healed within you. And they keep sending the same type of personality, or pattern is a better word, this energy to you in your life to represent something that you still need to look deeper at. But once you are aware of the pattern and the types of people, you can start to then actively change who you're surrounding yourself with, right? You can actively start to make different choices, go to different places. Small things. Start with small things, because our brains typically resist big changes, right? But just start with small changes. Start to just detach a little bit from your typical way of thinking and your typical patterns. Understand that you are in complete control of the outcomes that you get in your life. Okay? Our thoughts create emotions, and then how we're feeling dictates the types of behaviors that we do, right? And then the types of behaviors that we do every day leads to what we get out of our life, right? Where we end up, our outcomes. So start taking a different mindset towards, put a positive spin on things, right? Look at people that maybe are difficult in your life and ask yourself a more helpful question. Like, what is this person trying to teach me? What can I get out of this? Even if it's a negative situation, even if they need to leave your life, right? And you don't necessarily need to be around them. Looking at it as, what did you learn? How can you take that information and do something different with someone in the future, right? And really start to pay attention and ask yourself, like, what type of people do you actually want in your life, and what do you want that to look like? And ask yourself, are you being that type of person? Also, really be honest with yourself. Are there little things that you need to change about how you show up in the world and put better energy out into the world so that you can then bring better energy into your life, into your surroundings, right? And then when you start to see that, more and more of what you want is gonna come to you, but you have to step out of the comfort zone a little bit. Start to realize that you can learn something from everyone, okay? And especially the difficult people in your life. You can step back. What did I learn? What can I learn? What are they trying to teach me? What is this pattern of this type of person or energy that keeps coming, or experience even, that keeps happening in my life? And what can I learn from it, right? What do I need to heal from? What do I need to acknowledge? Maybe you're grieving. Maybe you've had trauma. Maybe you've had both. Maybe you've typically have a pattern of not being respected in the way that you want to be respected, or being noticed or loved in the way that maybe, whatever the pattern or the trigger that comes up with you, that you're constantly experiencing over and over again, and you're getting discouraged. Step back, take a look, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What am I not acknowledging within myself? What thoughts are coming up when you're feeling these triggers? And what small changes can you start to make to either, I would suggest, honestly, starting with just understanding what patterns are repeating, right? What energies and experiences keep happening to you that are making you feel this way, and then understand the commonality of it, right? Like, it's happening because that you are attracting that energy, and that makes it a little less, at least for me, that made it feel a little bit less out of my control, right? When I started realizing that, okay, I'm attracting this type of energy into my life because there's some work still that I need to do on myself, or there's some changes that I need to make. And that gives you so much more control, which is going to make it feel so much less overwhelming, less anxiety causing, less scary, when you realize you have a little bit of that control. And you do, we all do. But first you do have to recognize, step back, observe it a little bit, get familiar with it. And then remember, everything starts with our thoughts, because that leads to how we're feeling, our emotions, how we act, and then what we get from it, okay? And that applies to everything, not just the people in our lives. Maybe that applies to how you're doing financially, or how you're doing with family relationships, how you're doing just with your happiness. You can have more peace and happiness. And you're not alone. All of us humans are being tested in some ways. We're all going through something. We all need to learn something. Okay? We're all on a different place in our journey, yes, and we're all going through different things at different times to different extents. But we're all just trying to figure this out, right? We're all doing the best that we can. And sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that when we are dealing with difficult people too, that they're going through something too. And sometimes we just need that little reminder. So that's just a little caveat there, side note. But you can do something different than what you've been doing and start to get different outcomes, start to feel a little bit different. Start to be a little bit happier, start to be a little bit more confident, start to be a little bit more at peace in your own body and have better relationships. But you have to stop and you have to want to put in the work and ask yourself the hard questions and start to notice the patterns that are coming in your life and what it's bringing up inside of you, and just allow yourself to have some of those maybe hidden or trapped emotions that you've been suppressing for too long, and see what comes up. You start to ask yourself certain questions. Why is this coming up for me? Why does this experience keep happening? Or why do I always feel like blank when I'm with this person? Or whatever it looks like, right? Whatever challenge just is on your, that you just constantly keep seeing come up and it's just really bothering you. Start there. But know that you hold more power than you think you do. You're more powerful than you know, and you can make some of these changes if you're willing to put in some of the effort and time to stop just going through the motions of your life and really step back and take some time to observe and ask a different question. Sometimes we just need to ask a better question to get a better solution for something that we're looking for. Sometimes we're asking the wrong questions to ourselves. And that could be a whole different video. That's a whole nother thing. But you got this. You can get more of what you want. You can be happier. You can find better relationships, create better relationships. But start to notice what's coming up inside of you. Start to accept it and just allow yourself to feel it. And then change a little bit of the things that you're always doing and not getting the results that you want. If you want something different in your life, then you have to do something differently. I can't stress that enough. Even if it seems so small and insignificant, if that's where you need to start and that's the smallest change you can make, start there. Build some of the confidence, build some of the self-trust, build some of the resiliency. When we do things that make us uncomfortable, we build a resiliency. You build up a tolerance. But if you never take the step to start doing something different, you're never gonna get the different. I hope this lands with you guys. And like, subscribe, all the things, and I will stop it there because that's a lot to sink in. But I will see you guys next time. You take care. All right, bye.